The Rangers are back 11-4 as they vaporized the cheaters from Houston in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. And it was great to see ex-Dodger Corey Seager, forever and ever a Dodger. He's already played in the World Series in that ballpark with the Dodgers, but he's back in the World Series again. And he got the party started. The hootenanny got started. If you're watching at the beginning there, Corey Seager, a long dinger for the Rangers. Nathaniel Lowe also went deep. So Texas will now play the Phillies or the D-backs, who somehow beat the Phillies to force a Game 7 in the National League Championship Series. But the Fall Classic will start at the end of the week. It'll be the Rangers versus the Phillies or the Diamondbacks. Now, Garcia of the Rangers named the American League most valuable player for the ALCS. He was the MVP of the ALCS. 15 runs batted in the last week or so here. So a domination situation for Dallas Garcia and the Rangers. But the better story is in the Cheetahs locker room. Cheetah! You dopes! You stupid morons! Now, I'm talking to the a-hole fans is what I'm talking to. Those are the people I'm talking to right now. So, let us discuss the question, what is your perspective on the Astros being ejected, eliminated, evicted, jettisoned, tossed overboard from the baseball playoffs? So I have Billboard Hot 100, Cooties, and Cornfield. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make sour grapes is what we're going to make for the cheating fan base, the deplorables in Houston. That's what we're going to do. All right, so listen, I have been in a good mood for hours. Now, you know, I've been someone here at Fox Sports Radio over the years because, you're kind of always grumpy, you're negative and all that. No, I'm in a great mood. Man, I am so happy. It was just wonderful. What a great way to humiliate the villains of baseball and have them face the guillotine. It was just absolutely great. And to lose every home game. You knew the franchise is decrepit when they opened that ballpark years ago. They named it Enron Field. If you don't know what happened to Enron, you might want to look it up. It's quite the tale. But listen, to lose every game in your own ballpark and in front of those knuckle-dragging Neanderthal fans who support you, I mean, it's just great. Now, my wife actually thought maybe we should call the paramedics here because you might be overdosing on Schadenfreude. I might have had too much Schadenfreude watching all that went down here, but these Mamalukes who had every advantage you could possibly want, the home cooking, the veteran playoff-savvy roster, better starting pitcher, Christian Javier versus old man Max Scherzer. They had the deeper bullpen. In the end, it was all subterfuge. None of that mattered. Christian Javier went out there and piddled down his leg on the mound in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. That was public defecation is what that was. I mean, this guy, you talk about having small you-know-whats. My God, this guy, what a loser. Yeah, what a loser. Christian Javier, he goes a third of an inning, and he just puked all over the place there, gave up 4 hits, a walk, 2 home runs, 3 runs, and all that. And then it was the doodah parade. The doodah parade of relievers, and people love to tell me how great the a-hole bullpen was, how wonderful the bullpen was. So they brought in 7 relief pitchers, and out of the 7, 5 of the 7 gave up runs. Is that quality relief pitching? I'm asking for a friend. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe in the modern era of baseball, it's great relief pitching. But when it was all done, more, of course, was said than actually happened. And when this ended, we got to turn to the Billboard Hot 100 from the late 1960s, the band's theme. Na, 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 na! La, 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 la. Hey, goodbye, you cheating a-holes, you losers. You're eliminated. Ha, ha, ha. You get nothing. You get bupkis is what you get. You cockroaches are dead. And take your stupid astronaut costumes back to the store. Halloween's not till next week, you morons. Come on.
I owe you nothing.
Oh, so great. Poetic justice. Isn't it wonderful? Man, and Major League Baseball is going to have its first champion since the 2021 Atlanta Braves. You know, there had been no champion last year. People with ethics, people with morals do not consider anything that team in the den of inequity does to count. It doesn't matter. Altuve and Bregman. Dirty. So everything they do, since they never got punished, no justice, no peace. And now that they're eliminated, we'll have a real champion in baseball. Haven't had one since the Atlanta Braves in 2021. Before that, the Dodgers, who won the hardest World Series of all time in 2020. And so finally we'll have another champion. And we'll have a reigning champion in baseball. That spot blank on your bingo card. Now, headline next from the dugout. And we are told now that cheating Astro skipper Dusty Baker is going to exit stage left. As there are reports bouncing around here that Dusty Baker has informed people close to the situation that he is out. He is done. He is exiting. So, let us discuss. Is it true? Is it true that Dusty Baker has now managed his final game as the leader of the cheaters in Houston? And I'm nodding my head. Yes, he is friends with a bunch of baseball scribes. They all play grab ass together, a bunch of the older writers in baseball. And so, Dusty, listen, he made sure the story got out a few days ago that he was unhappy with having analytics shoved down his throat by the nerds that work for the cheaters in Houston. And he planted that story. And listen, here's the problem. All right, Dusty's going to retire because he's old. He's 74 years old. He's managed till he's 74. That's a great run. He's the Doc Rivers of baseball. Doc Rivers has one World Series and then a bunch of heartbreak. And you look at Dusty Baker. Well, he didn't even have a World Series. That we don't count what happened in 2022. So Dusty didn't even win one, but just a lot of sucking in big games. Dusty Baker's teams were the personification of suck in big games. And it's a shame that Dusty took the job in Houston because he bailed out Major League Baseball. They did not punish any of the cheaters. There was no justice for any of the players that cheated. So they gave some token suspensions to A.J. Hinch. How'd that work out? Alex Cora, people like that. Well, they're all back in baseball, right? The only one not back in baseball is the conniving GM who's now running a soccer team into the ground, and that's about it. But Dusty Baker took the Astro job, and he gets to wear the scarlet letter as he exits the dugout there. His resume is further tainted, and no legitimate World Series on Dusty's resume, so we'll put that out there. And it is appropriate that Bruce Bochy gave him the KO, the knockout blow there. And now Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, and the cheating Astros can go back into Frankenstein's lab there and cook up new ways to break the rules of baseball. And we know... Yeah. F. Altuve! F. Altuve! F. Altuve! Oh, it's going to be so great. He's never getting to the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose has a better chance of getting to the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds has a better chance of getting to the Hall of Fame than that little pipsqueak, Altuve, not going to the Hall of Fame. And let me also address for a second, since I'm on my soapbox here, from the powerful microphones of Fox Sports Radio, let me address the most unsophisticated fan base in baseball, the bandwagoner, as our friend Blair in Maine would say here, the Astros, a fan, that ugly orange. We had people dressed up in astronaut uniforms. You know, they just came from like Halloween City. and they just bought those on their way to the ballpark. And now they can, on the way home, if it's still open, they could stop by and return those. And I do, listen, I'm not a bad guy, okay? I hope that every fan of the ass 1,000, 1,000 holes is able to return all of their orange jerseys and hats and get a full refund, as long as you left the tags on there and they're not too dirty from nacho cheese or whatever you were eating, you animals. You can return the stuff. So I hope you can still go back to the concession stands and return that stuff. Now, the last word here, to the winner's locker room quickly. What stands out from the Rangers side of things? So what stands out from the Rangers side of things? Now, this is the cornfield situation as ownership in Texas channeling Kevin Costner from that long ago baseball movie, Field of Dreams. It was a version of the line, although it's been morphed over the years. If you build it, he will come. In this case, if you build it, they will come.
If you build it, he will come.
No, they will come. This is a morphed version. So the Rangers went out and spent big money. Big money, big money. No whammy. No whammy. They went out and got Corey Seager, Marcus Semien in free agency. They signed Nathan Eovaldi from the Red Sox, Jacob deGrom, who did absolutely nothing because he's hurt, and several other players. Texas had the 8th highest payroll in baseball. They spent all this money, and now they are in the World Series. They have won the American League pennant. That's good. See, you don't have to be a bunch of tightwads. You don't have to be a bunch of penny pinchers. You can spend money and still have success. So good for the Rangers. And the fact that they won with Bochy, winning the pennant, Bochy, who spits loogies at analytics, and the Phillies going into next year, they have the top payroll in baseball, and the Phillies have to win Game 7 to get to the World Series, but it could have the number 1 payroll versus the number 8 payroll if it works out that way. And Bruce Bochy, this is a good thing. If the Rangers are able to win the World Series, they don't follow the Bible of analytics. They do some of that, but Bruce Bochy has a hunch. He bets a bunch. That's the way it should be. And so good for the Rangers, good for Bochy, who I dealt with years ago in another life in San Diego, and now here he is still doing his thing and back in the World Series. It's great to see. All right, it is the Ben Maller Show. If you would like to be part, speakeasy rules do apply, but it's a celebration. Celebrate good times. Celebrate. The a-holes are done. Eliminated. And we will rejoice. We will rejoice together here. And you can join us also on the X machine at Ben Maller. That's at Ben Maller if you'd like to be part. A message from a bum. A message from a bum, and that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. We'll get to that, and we will do it next.